Bill Wyman's bass playing is always so tasteful that Keith Richards constantly amazed by it. Keith Richards have to say that Bill is the most discerning and sensitive musician I have ever heard when I listen to what he is playing in the background. Richards have to admit, Bill is the best bass player in opinion, even if he might be embarrassed by that. Keith Richards' Keith and Mick Jagger's response to Bill Wyman's decision to leave the Rolling Stones. Bill Wyman, who used to be the bassist for the Rolling Stones, retired from the band in 1993. In an interview he discussed how Mick Jagger and Keith Richards responded when he made the decision to leave the group. Keith continues to send me perfumed candles every Christmas. We all give each other gifts for Christmas and birthdays. It is still a family affair, social rather than business, and it is very effective. It's similar like having distant relatives. You have an Auntie Elsie and an Uncle Fred who are both very charming, but you don't want to see them all the time. It took a few months to repair my friendship with the Stones after I left them for the first time. It was a very tense situation, and they did not want me to go. So they turned bitchy. Rather of being kind and saying, "Cheers, mate," Mick would say the most absurd, stupid things with that spoilt attitude he had. He'd say stuff like, "Oh, well, if anybody has to play bass, I'll do it. It can't be that hard." Keith said, "No one leaves this band unless they're in a wooden box." In any case, they kept the door open for me for 2 years. Charlie and Mick would call and ask, "You aren't really going to leave, are you? Have you reconsidered it?" Then, when it was time for them to go on the 1994/1995 tour, they had to make a final decision. Mick and Charlie came over to my place and spent the evening with me, trying to convince me to stay. Do I have any regrets about not returning? Not a single one.